Hey gang, and welcome back to the lost chapter of the Crucible Chronicles. If you weren't able to check out the last video, essentially what we're doing in this weird in-between time before Mass Mutation is released this Friday, I didn't have enough time to actually get a full 5 episodes into a chapter, so I decided that I'm just going to put a couple episodes down, doing something a little bit different. We're going to be reviewing some of my old gameplay. So the game that we're going to be looking at today was actually recorded in October, so just a little bit fresher. I should say October of 2019, just a little bit fresher than the game we reviewed on in the last episode. So let's hop on over, and this time I think we're going to take just a quick peek at the deck that I'm playing first, and then we'll get to the gameplay. All right, so this is the deck we're playing. This is one I think I've since actually gotten rid of. I think I gave this deck away. So I haven't played with it recently. It's aside from remembering the name and the fact that I had a deck that had 3 Gauntlet of Commands, I don't remember a whole lot about it. But there's some pretty cool Brobnar stuff, I would say. You know, triple Gauntlet's nice. A double Ganger Chieftain, so even if you don't have Gauntlets out, you can get some fights out of some of the creatures here. Double Bingle Bang Bang and a Lollop, so you've definitely got some stuff that's good for fighting. I think I do recall now having the Spider survive is pretty sweet. So you can get a couple fights with, again, the Gauntlets, or use the Ganger Chieftain to make the Spider fight to take a good amount of the board down. As you could probably see, there's no Ember control. Absolutely 0 in this deck. And not a huge amount of expected Ember. So definitely not a deck that's going to be winning any Vault Tours or anything, but it definitely has some legs otherwise. You know, double Pinpaca Anga, you can get some really beefy creatures out there. You've got a single Tesmal, so that's pretty decent, and Hysteria to help maybe set up some of this stuff. Not a whole lot of stuff that you specifically would want to recur with a Hysteria. I suppose you could really wipe out your hand with this old Yerk and Hysteria, but the other thing is it has They're Everywhere and Save the Pack, which is a pretty sweet board wipe combo. You know, obviously there are better board wipes out there, but yeah, I guess you only get 1 chain for it, so it might be all right. I don't know. Let's hop into the game. We'll see how this deck worked for us, and see in what ways maybe kind of a fresh perspective on the game, or a more mature perspective on the game would have affected my decisions over the course of the game. So let's hop into it. So I did have the foresight to go through and pull up the second deck as well. So I'll definitely have a link to that in the video description. Looks like it's a Dis Logos Untamed deck. Didn't spend a whole lot of time. Oh, I guess I'll see it right here. There it is. Look at that. I don't even need to pull it up. Did you got all that information? You got all that? Let's see what we're looking at right now. We got 4 Untamed cards, Save the Pack, and They're Everywhere. So that's, you know, it's nice to have those together. The Glimmer obviously is not particularly useful. We got the Tantadolin, so a big body that we can reap with. You know, it's definitely a bummer that we have both Save the Pack and They're Everywhere together, because, I mean, you probably don't want them this early unless our opponent really busts out on the board. What else do we have alternatively? We've got Bingle Bang Bang, Lollop. Could get some Brobnar creatures down, or just a Dust Imp. Honestly, I think in this deck, maybe you want to shoot to try and get at least a Gauntlet down, so you have the ability to without a Ganger Chieftain get some fights off, to help kind of control some of the board. I would say the fact that we got like 3 cards here that are not really ideal this early on in the game, I would probably mulligan this now. I'm also pretty terrible at mulligans, so even now, so I don't know. Looks like I hold on to it. I'm going first, so maybe I'm thinking I don't know what I'm thinking. We can throw down the Dust Imp. Turn 1 Dust Imp could be, I guess, interesting. I guess I did forget. I am the first player, so we only get to play 1 card. The Dust Imp, I guess, is probably as good as anything. That way I'm not putting myself in a situation where I've got one Brobnar card, one discard, and then all these untamed cards. Yeah, I think probably this is definitely a mulligan going forward. And even if it isn't, maybe this is like, I don't know, maybe there's a reason to play down the Tantadolin instead of the Dust Imp. That way you can at least get a Reap off on the next turn. Looks like our opponent throws down the Sacrificial Altar and Toxin. So already threatening some stuff that I don't really like. Of course, the only way we can deal with that is with They're Everywhere and Save the Pack. So that feels kind of bad. Probably at this point, I know you're probably gonna take the hit with this Toxin if they go back to Dis. Although maybe they don't go back to Dis. So I think I actually like this Brobnar play. But at a certain point, you just gotta get rid of the untamed stuff. But maybe we're looking at a situation where it might be nice to kind of bait them out on the board a little bit, so we can try and get some value out of They're Everywhere. The problem is we're just not really drawing any cards. We've now got a Penpack Anga, so that's nice. This looks like it's probably a decent untamed turn. Although we do have a Ganger Chieftain, we could pretty much take out everything on the board with Brobnar, or we could move a bunch of cards and play Untamed. I think I probably play Untamed. Because I generate probably just as much Ember. I guess I get a chain. But it more cleanly wipes the board, and we don't have to deal with a bunch of damage on our Brobnar creatures. So, and throwing down the Penpack Anga is also nice. Maybe we can get our Bingle Bang Bang to actually survive a fight, at least until the Penpack Anga has been destroyed. So looks like I opt to go Brobnar. It works. It works. I guess I'm killing. Oh, interesting. Fighting with the Dust Imp. All right. Well. I don't think I would have done that again. I can understand keeping the Bingle Bang Bang. Keeping the Bingle Bang Bang safe. And I guess I couldn't have fought with the Lollop. I think honestly probably what I would have preferred to do on a Brobnar turn there is maybe do the double reap with Lollop and Bingle Bang Bang, and then Ganger Chieftain the Bingle Bang Bang into probably Doc Bookington. That takes out a Toxin and the Archaeologist. They still have the Doc Bookington out on the board, but they don't also just call Logos. So maybe they've, reducing the amount of momentum they can get on Logos will further discourage them from taking another Logos turn and getting value out of that Doc Bookington. Yeah, I think that's maybe a weird play. I think probably my thought is I'm trying to get more value out of the Save the Pack, They're Everywhere combo, but I've sort of stuck myself into that. I guess I can now Glimmer the Dust Imp, so I can get something back. But right now, it doesn't really look like I'm going to be going back to Dis anytime soon. I think I probably, like I said, last turn probably would have been a little bit better Untamed. Maybe hold the Glimmer if I want. Because I know we would be playing They're Everywhere. See, now we got Positron Bolt, so now the Save the Pack just destroys all our stuff. Bummer. I think they just archived the Positron Bolt as well. Come on, more. Just pull the plug on the Untamed. Oh, geez. What am I doing? I guess getting on check. I guess that's what I'm doing. I would assume I'm getting on check. Yeah, the Archaeologist archived the Positron Bolt as expected. Alright, then I'm just reaping here. Also strange. Seems like I should at least fight Seems like I should have at least fought Doc Bookington or maybe the Archaeologist. I mean, they can just Positron Bolt again. It's not going to kill anything, I suppose, but it's more Ember for them. They get, I guess, a reap off of Doc Bookington. I would already be on check. Maybe I was trying to sort out if I should go to 7, and they have a Drumble. Yeah, so they've got a Drumble, so probably going to 7 is not a good play here. At least that's my 2020 perspective. Oh, look at that. Me drinking coffee. I'll drink some tea in solidarity. I don't know how this game ends. I don't even know how long it is, so I usually try and keep these videos to about 20 minutes, but maybe this game will be a little bit longer than usual, so. Alright, looks like we got Effervescent Principle. Oh, look at that. That's nice. The Archaeologist then hits the archives the Effervescent Principle. So that was pretty good. This Archaeologist, I must not just realize what's going on. Otherwise, like, I certainly would have killed at least the Archaeologist last turn. Especially because we've got the Drumble, which keys off of 7, right? So I should have probably never gone to 7 in the first place. Yeah, we gotta go Untamed. Just play some stuff more. Play some cards. Alright, so I'm picking up the Dust Imp. I think that was like in my head all along, I'm assuming. There might be something to be said about holding on to that if I don't play Save the Pack here. I think we probably do play Save the Pack though. Just to wipe the board a little bit, clear things out. I think it comes down. Tantadlin. Probably just, I don't know. I could definitely see a reason to hold on to this, especially if I'm planning on going back into Untamed. We obviously haven't taken an Untamed turn yet, but we also haven't drawn a whole lot of cards. So yeah, this is now we got ourselves into a situation here. So now I got these 2 gauntlets, and this is kind of the type of hand that I think you want to try to avoid in this deck, which is probably a reason to mulligan for at least one of the gauntlets. And our opponent's got Hunting Witch, Dust Pixie. So cool 3 Ember there off the Dust Pixie, and goes to check. Yeah, this is probably a pretty easy Untamed turn there. Good job, young Mort. You did it. Going up to 8. Going up to 8. Her opponent pretty quickly selects Dis. Throws the Dominator Bauble down. Oh, and Mind Barbs are Perilous Wild. That is rough, especially with that Drumble hitting the board. That would have been pretty ideal. Be able to just play that and then reap 3 times. Reclaim all our Ember plus 3 more. Wonder what the play here is. Going Dis, throwing down the Dust Imp, Binding Irons, maybe discarding Old York. I feel like almost this might just be a Brobnar turn, throwing down 2 gauntlets. As sad as that is, the alternative is I can just pitch. You can pitch both gauntlets with the Old York, but there's a lot of utility with the gauntlets. So interesting. So I'm opting to go Untamed and not kill the Drumble. I think I would have probably at this point dedicated the 2 creatures to kill the Drumble. You get back onto check +1 reap. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. To see where the board sits after this turn. I don't really like the idea of just going back into Untamed. I don't like that. I certainly don't like that play on the last turn to just reap for 3, not deal with the Drumble. And this deck does have 2 arises that we're playing, so maybe that's part of my thought. Like, I can kill it, but it's probably just coming back anyways. Oh, nice. The no value Schuler. Okay, going back to Untamed. It's just, all right, it works, I guess. We're back on to check. We got 4 creatures on the board. Here comes the new Effervescent Principle. The new Effervescent Principle. I just saw, apparently Woody in chat during the stream said he ordered new glasses. I did not look at that. Too distracting. So Effervescent Principle again. It's the second time we've been hit with that. This deck actually also has 2 Effervescent Principles. So definitely some pretty potent number control, and our opponent did well to just basically burst up to the 1 key they did get. I can see I'm looking at this, but instead I apparently am just gonna play Untamed. Yeah. I think I had it in my head, and I probably still have it in my head at some point, that it's just like, kill the Drumble. Mort, kill the Drumble. Come on, do something. I guess I'm on check with the Titan mechanic. We're all right. We're all right. I think I had it in my head for quite some time that it was like just bad to, if you could ever get 4 Ember, not that I reap for 4 Ember on that turn, that I should like never do anything else. And I think that's definitely still kind of, or is apparent in some of this gameplay, like not really considering developing the board a little bit better. Now I think that this is actually also pre-Worlds Collide. Yeah, pre-Worlds Collide. So if I recall correctly, so kind of the whole meta shift towards like just potent creature and board control, and I would say also kind of a shift towards getting yourself in a good board state. Was definitely something that I think was kind of still being developed. Man, I can't even talk right now. That's what having a kid does to you. Makes your brain not work. Yeah, I think like it really stinks that like I can't get onto check if I don't go Untamed. But I think I like have to at this point. I haven't played cards out of my hand in seemingly forever, right? So I discard the old Yerk. Want to try and get some value out of the gauntlets. At this point, I don't know, it's tough. At least we got a Ganger Chieftain now. Of course, we got the Ganger Chieftain sitting ready to be used with our Tesmal. Ready to be used with our Tesmal. If we were thinking, we'd have probably slotted that Dust Imp on the side. Just slowly working our way up to check. Again. Deck seems to just have eternal Logos creatures. I wonder if an Arise got played the turn before. I wasn't paying that close of attention. That seems likely, given the fact that everything from every Logos card from the discard pile was returned. And we do see the Arise in the discard pile, so that must have been on the disc turn. But I was probably hoping that there would be a nice way to recur my kill everything, my 2-card kill everything combo, but that's not happening. Yeah, I think maybe Dis is pretty good here. You can play this stuff out. I don't think Hysteria is good here. Probably Tesmol. Tesmol and say, I don't know, probably Logos, just because there's so much stuff on the board. Tesmol, Reap, say Logos. Reap with the Dust Imp. You can Scullion the Dust Imp then to get to a bunch of Ember, and then throw out Spider on the flank. Maybe we can get some value out of that with the Gengar Chieftain on a subsequent turn. These gauntlets just totally gumming up our hand. This is a pretty advantageous situation for our opponent, though. You know, we block them out of Logos, but they can still go Dis. Even if they don't have anything in hand, they can move something with the library, get a couple Reaps off, and Dominator Bobble to use any number of creatures, any number of those Logos creatures that are pretty high value. Doc Bookington to draw a card. Quick Soda, also draw a card. Bat Drone to steal. Archaeologist to archive the Effervescent again. I feel like we probably have to get onto check here, which really is probably not that difficult as long as we don't go Brob. See that? What in the more? What are you doing, man? Am I gonna play this Hysteria? I guess so. Right, that's a play. No, don't put it on the right. Dang. Dang. Oh, I guess we were killing the Dust Imp. Right, that's not bad. I'm about to get Effervescent for 1 million. Man, did they library babble into their second Effervescent? Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Those Effervescents have, what, taken us off check every single time so far? Here comes an absolute slew of Logos yet again. We did pick up our Glimmer though, so that's at least all right. Only gets us one piece of the puzzle though, so we need to figure out how to deal damage to everything. Honestly, I wonder if this is a Brobnar turn. Like, kill the Archaeologist, get the gauntlets down. We at least forged a key though, so it wasn't a total loss here. Yeah, I think you just got to move the cards. Move the cards, get those the dead weight of those gauntlets. Nice. All right. So I've identified the importance of the Archivist or the Archaeologist, whatever it is. Definitely do some work with Brobnar on this next turn. We want to First Blood to kill the Bat Drone. That Spider can basically run the board. Nearly run the board. I think we've only seen one Arise. If we find another Another. Library, Shaffles comes down. That's the only creature that comes down. This could be pretty good untamed turn. Could Glimmer to pick up that. They're everywhere. Take out Shaffles and the Bat Drone. Oh, Bat Drone to kill the spider. Bummer. Bummer. And steal one. Oh, and the Schuler. The Schuler. And Shaffles to take us down to nothing. It's an interesting spot here. Can still do some work with Brobnar to clear the board. You know, Shaffles and most of the logo stuff probably needs to be dealt with. And you can do that easily enough with the gauntlets and Scullion. Scullion's big enough to take down Doc and Quixo. Gengar Chieftain, I suppose, could fight down the Shaffles or Bat Drone. Yeah, looks like I'm doing that. Killing the Shaffles. Oh man, yeah, so if I do it, well, I'm gonna have to leave the Titan mechanic out. Probably need to kill the Bat Drone. See if I do it right. So Scullion should go into Quixo and probably Doc. Then it's actually still alive. Then the Gengar Chieftain. Interesting. So I leave the Doc Bookton. It's maybe reaping with the Gengar Chieftain. Oh, now I think about it. Bummer. Yeah, so as I can see already, there's definitely some things I would change if I were to play this game again right now. You know, definitely that archaeologist early on, just not dealing with it. It's like I had the means to deal with it, just chose not to, opted to reap instead. So I think that's that was a big mistake on my part. All right, so because that archaeologist single-handedly took us off at least a key with being able to archive the effervescent. An untimely second effervescent certainly hurt a little bit. It's got to be an untamed turn. We can't do anything about this key. If y'all will recall from beforehand, there is no Ember control in this deck, which I guess makes it easy. Makes it easier. Yeah, I think this. I don't know what we should pick here. Like maybe Bingle Bang Bang would actually be good if we go back to Brobnar. Or still I mean, we're not going to get back into Save the Pack anytime soon, so they're everywhere. Doesn't really do anything right now. Puts damage onto the Guardian Demon. I picked up Hysteria. Interesting. Hysteria with Cooler out there. I'll go ahead and Persistence Hunting Logos. That seems pretty good. Lay that out. Fogbank, although well, I guess Doc Bookington. I guess that's what I'm worried about. Guardian Demon can't really do a whole lot right now.
Are you ready?
definitely drawn into a bunch of discs. I didn't realize that this deck had the library. That would be possibly another thing to kind of mulligan for. I mean, we started with the save the pack, they're everywhere combo in hand, but assuming that's not the case, if we're playing this deck again, that would be a nice way to put those pieces together. Oh man, grasping vines for my gauntlets. Oh, that is probably a pretty good reason to have old Yerked those gauntlets just away.
Are you ready?
Yeah, in hindsight, didn't realize there was the grasping vines, but that is pretty brutal. Like maybe if you get those gauntlets early game, you still play them. But we sat on those gauntlets in hand for what? What do you think? Like 3 turns? 3, 4 turns? Did nothing with them. I don't really know what I'm doing here.
Are you ready?
Am I actually gonna feel like this gateway is probably something that should happen? But apparently I do it and don't play the Hysteria. Oh man, look at that. Triple Gauntlet Flame Wake. Oh my. That is definitely a thing. There comes the second Arise too. Big Twig, Mighty Tiger, Dust Pixie, and Hunting Witch. And then Control the Weak into Dis. Oof. Oof. Pretty bad look for us. So probably ditch the Hysteria, play or use library to stuff the Hanga away, I guess. I mean, again, no Ember control, so this is, the writing is on the wall. Opponent needs literally 1 Ember at this point. And they just picked up a handful of Untamed. Alright. Looks like I identified that much. That much at least. But yeah, there you have it. That was a game for sure. I think not having any Ember control definitely hurt us. Not getting some of those gauntlets down a little bit earlier hurt our ability to wipe the board, but it really was our own fault. We probably should have identified the grasping vines was going to be a problem, and using the old Yerk to get rid of them just would have been fine. It seemed like we were just kind of stuck in the untamed loop of trying to get value out of our 4 creatures on the board while playing nothing from hand. So definitely a way that I've improved since then, I think. Probably to a fault in some ways, just like opting to play stuff out of hand and develop the board maybe more than is required. But I think definitely in this game, aside from, I don't know, maybe the first time when I was trying to just rush on to check, even then it's like getting your first key but having really nothing developed, like none of the gauntlets down, the library isn't down, you don't have any creatures down from any other house, is definitely not, I think, not a solid way to play this particular deck, and it was really more indicative of kind of just how I assigned value in the game. You know, I think I knew in the back of my head that it's a racing game, right? So it's like I just need to generate Ember to get onto check and try and forge keys. Obviously, that's the objective. But there is also a large element about playing cards that you have and moving through your hands such that you have more and better options, more potent options in 2 turns and 3 turns. I can reap for 3, right? I can reap for 3 for 4 turns in a row, but my opponent is actually doing stuff in between those turns. And it's like I could reap for 3 for 3 turns in a row, or I could play out some creatures, and then in 3 turns, maybe I have the ability to reap for 3 and also play a bunch of cards and get some value that way. So definitely good to see that I've made some improvements. I don't know if you all experience this, but it's like sometimes you have I feel like I can get in a rut where I just keep playing, keep jamming some games, and having fun, but like not necessarily feeling like I'm developing as a player. So I feel like this is actually sort of an interesting but good exercise to take yourself through. Now, obviously, I'm fortunate in that I stream this game and I have like a fair amount of recordings of this game, of myself playing this game. So it's pretty easy for me to go back into the archives. But I wonder how if it would be beneficial for people to like do something like this, like maybe a day a month or something, just figure out a way to record what you're playing, record your screen, and you can like go back and check it out in 3-4 months, or even maybe next, just a month later, to see if there are ways that you would kind of reevaluate the situations that you came across in the gameplay that you recorded that day. Anyways, I hope this has been interesting. This is probably a pretty long episode, maybe a little longer than I'm used to, but hopefully it's something that you can get some value out of. I know I have. It's helped me to see kind of ways that I've developed, and this will probably be something that even if it's not for a video, I should go back and do with some amount of frequency, just to again figure out the ways that I've learned, grown, and developed as a player. Anyways, thank you so much for checking the video out. I will see you all in the next one. So long.